Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Dr. McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. Good day, my good people. I hope I find you well. Hope you are having a good day wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because we are all spread all over the world and our times of the day tend to differ. Right, Nyokayemabhunu update. I should say that I'm not one person who knows exactly what's happening to Nyokayemabhunu. I haven't been much into that. There's people that have been covering that corner. And like I've said always in my previous videos, the ever-present media coverage from court events, especially where he is, I want to believe it is, as I have said, it is Gambakwe. He's the one who's always on the ground. Everyone else will report from second-hand information, but Gambakwe seems to be on hands in regards to that. So the challenge will come. Many things will be said about him. I know, you know what? Everyone wants to be the person. This media house is fighting the other media house. I'll talk about it in a minute. But let's go straight to the Nyokayemabhunu and live coverage of that, or quick update in regards to whatever would have come from the courts. I always say, deal with the person on the ground. Right. The Nyokayemabhunu issue. I'm not a person, like I said, who's been following much into it, but I've checked with one or two people and say, what do you think about this Nyokayemabhunu issue? Because I'm not so sure what's happening there. They said the arrest of Nyokayemabhunu, surely the intention was to make sure that the guy is extradited to Zimbabwe because of what he had said and what he was doing and the part he was playing in causing, in putting energy into what people are saying, the revolution. So them attacking or getting Nyokayemabhunu to be arrested, it was like they had switched off the microphone. Henceforth, you see, where there's no communication, there's no progress. And when people lack communication or a guiding voice, they tend to go all over. Before you know it, they will start to point fingers at each other. They say Nyokayemabhunu was giving people the vibes. And those who were within the camp or supporting what Nyokayemabhunu is driving onto, they were having this energy vibrated in them to say, right, we have to go. So henceforth, they made him a target to whatever they wanted. They almost got him. Let's be honest. They almost got him. When you see Interpol coming present to the court on consistent basis, it means to say, regardless of there being trumped up charges, they really wanted their person. They really wanted their men. But having said that, we also looked at, and I said, so these questions that were flying all over, others saying Nyokayemabhunu is not connected to Comrade Geza, others saying Nyokayemabhunu is connected to Comrade Geza. What's all this now? It needs to be cleared. And like I said last time, that Nyokayemabhunu was a fundamental figure in the Geza drive. People that were saying that is not a part, they should have judged from the interest that was being shown by the Zimbabwean government, especially through the Interpol. A general, ordinary person would not be wanted that much. So many people have committed crimes, but they are not being looked for. So many people have committed crimes, but they are not being targeted that much, as was being done to Nyokayemabhunu, or as is still being done to Nyokayemabhunu. So the rate of Nyokayemabhunu coming out tomorrow without any challenge, or with little challenge that's going to be applied, they say the chances of Nyokayemabhunu, just from the outside perspective, not from the courts, because you don't know what the courts will decide, but they said his chances of coming out tomorrow on bail are very, very high. They were putting them on 75%. And I said, okay, so what's happening? They said, when Nyokayemabhunu was arrested, they were delaying his release because they were now applying option 2, because the main option had been attacked. So in the process of delaying, the time that has been taken from the time Nyokayemabhunu was arrested to current, looking up to tomorrow, hoping that he's going to be released, they had applied option 2, buying time so that they implement option 2 to be in full force or in full flow. During that time, it is claimed that they were ZANU-PF was covering the ground, of which I want to believe they have. Reason I'm saying that is because of the points that have been given to me. They said, number one, they were applying their fallback options, and all have been applied now. Number two, they said they have, during that period, they have shaken the structure of the M31 movement, which seemed to make sense to me, considering the fact that everyone is now pointing fingers at each other. You look at the people that were speaking, I don't want to mention names here, but you start to see that everyone is now pointing fingers at each other, accusing them to be an agent of ZANU-PF or an agent of Mnangagwa, as they say, or the Echigananda. That alone is discourse that has been planted within the M31, and I want to believe they are saying they have succeeded in doing that. Some people who are genuinely fighting for the cause of M31 have now become enemies to the people they are meant to be leading in that M31. The division within the leadership is just too wide. It's very difficult for the people to be coming back together and trust each other. I'll give you a good example. You will see one media house attacking another media house over the Nyokayemabhunu issue. At the very same time, the people that have been ever present and communicating with the said person of Nyokayemabhunu, they are now trying to be sidelined. All that, they say, it's part of infiltration to cause division. And the chord seems to be playing the sound that they want to hear. Right. They say during that time also, it gave them time to reshuffle the period that Nyokayemabhunu has been in prison for. They say it gave ZANU-PF the time to reshuffle, number one, the military structures, number two, the intelligence structures. As you saw, there's one who has come from the intelligence and has been put in the army. That alone is what they were doing so that they will prune every person who they suspected was a suspect within the structures. And all other organs have also been restructured quietly without making things public. So according to them, it gave them time to reshuffle and make sure that they have retightened their system once again. The thing that people will be listening to or trying to hear from the ZANU-PF camp, things like the 2030 mantra, like I said, they're going to be switched off. Those are not things that are going to come back quicker, because the talk of that is what will infuriate certain people, but still it's not stopping the implementation of the said plans. The plans are going to continue to go ahead. They've also, within their structures, after the withdrawal of military from the ZANU-PF rallies, they have now managed to organize private security within their structures and their systems. So you'll see wherever these people go, people like Kudata Girei and the other people that were always touted to be Riganandas, they have now organized private security, private, well-trained security. So it's very difficult as well now to get close to them. These are all things that were being implemented when the volume of Nyokayemabhunu was turned off. They have also divided the so-called revolutionary unit, because now, like I said before, no one is trusting one another. You will see the Gambakwe is talking about the Mudzingwas. You will see the Mudzingwas trying to discredit Gambakwe. Everyone is talking about every other person being in infiltrating personnel, which I don't want to think it is. It's not that, but people are just fighting for prominence and eminence. They want to be known. They want to be written in the records and the history of whatever revolution that is. That is if it becomes a success. To say, I stood during the time when this were happening. So for that, they are saying, give me the credit that I deserve. On this divide, I don't see anything healing very soon. This is the very same divide that's sitting within the opposition. Once divide is planted and is visible to many people, it's very difficult for a person to prove themselves as an innocent person. Right. Now, what's on alert here? What's on high alert here right now is the security and safety of the person of Nyokayemabhunu. While it is taunted that is now needing to be housed somewhere where there's 24-hour coverage security for him, you still also don't know who is the person to trust to house him. Whoever tends to house him, if ever anything happens to Nyokayemabhunu, that person is also going to be accused. And at the very same time, it starts to endanger their lives. Because if, let's say, for example, God forbid, if Nyokayemabhunu gets sniped out or gets killed, whoever was housing that person is also still going to be brought forward and be accused of being a traitor within this M31 movement. So at the end of the day, people have to start to consider who is going to house Nyokayemabhunu and how is his welfare going to be taken care of. In that process, obvious, it cannot be a one-man duty. It's got to be a conglomerate duty where people tend to have to come together to make sure that that is facilitated. But where there is more than one person, there is bound to be differences in opinions, in views, in plans. In the end, people are still going to point fingers at each other. So how best is the security of Nyokayemabhunu going to be set? Especially with the people that will come and share on platforms that are being given by people. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to say whatever they think about the situation of Nyokayemabhunu. If you believe that, right, this is where security, the best security that is set for him, most people don't contribute. So most likely it's going to be one or two people who are going to stand to provide for that security. If you tend to look at it, you'll get to see that a lot of people are just bickering, but they are not financially supportive. In that event, it still makes him to be very, very, very vulnerable. So let's say he's released tomorrow, Nyokayemabhunu, it doesn't mean to say he's now safe. South Africa being South Africa, it's a country that I've known to just do anything and not value life. When it comes to life, South Africa tops. They can just eliminate any person any second. Even for a single thing, they can eliminate you just for a mobile phone. They can eliminate you just for not getting anything on you. That's South Africa. Still, besides the political issue, South Africa is always a risky country. So looking at the welfare of Nyokayemabhunu, I don't know how people are planning to put it up, but still it can endanger whoever tends to support to give him accommodation or house him and give him security. Right. The biggest challenge that the M31 is having, it is the media houses fighting each other. That alone is what's dividing the so-called revolution or the movement. There is not even one media house that's working alongside another. People might seem to stroll together, but within a very short period of time, they are up in arms against each other. The feud has to be settled. The differences have to be settled. There is no way out. Opposition to ZANU-PF will stand if people are divided. And ZANU-PF is well aware of all this. Remember, you are fighting people that don't just have 45 years experience after independence. They have got experience way before independence. So their experience backs up to more than half a decade. That alone, they know how to infiltrate, they know how to attack, they know how to use people. Above all, they've got a financial power hand which they can just use to grease somebody's hands before somebody can easily become a traitor. So how are you going to secure your camp? When I say such things, people will start to say, oh, he's a Mnangagwa guy. Oh, people want me to say things that they want to hear. But that's not what we're going to do. We are still going to give you the raw information as it stands. So that's the plans. It is said that option 2 has been applied or was being applied. And now the time that they wanted to buy so that they tighten the system, they've agreed that they've managed to get enough time. So even if Nyokayemabhunu is released tomorrow, trumpeting is going to be a bit of a challenge because he's not understanding the division that's outside. So as of now, keep watch. Tomorrow is a big day for those who call themselves the M31 movement, in case Nyokayemabhunu tends to be given the bail and is released on bail before the asylum application is activated. In the meantime, wherever you are, enjoy your day. That's just a mini update from me pertaining what's on the ground. So, where are we heading from here on? We'll watch and see. Tomorrow, definitely we'll be monitoring what's happening at the courts, with the outcome of the courts, believing all is going to happen, that Nyokayemabhunu is going to be released. I think and feel if he's released, the M31 people will be very happy. They will consider that as a victory. And at the very same time, when he comes, he is the person that carries the truth. The division between the Gambakwes and the Mudzingwas, he is the best person to explain that to you. So don't divide yourself amongst these people. Wait until the person comes out and he will tell you who he trusts and who it is that he has been working with, and he will also answer all those questions that you have been having hidden behind, to try and understand who is who in this game. Remember, some people were saying, Comrade Geza doesn't know Nyokayemabhunu. They don't communicate. All your answers could be given to you tomorrow if Nyokayemabhunu is released. So there's a lot to come out. Once Nyokayemabhunu is released, praying and hoping that is out, you are going to hear things that will divide and discredit some other media houses that have been saying whatever they have been saying, because it will be from the horse's mouth. So raw, direct information is going to come from the horse's mouth. Fingers crossed that is coming out. All the best. Enjoy your day. I'm out for now. Thank you.